Hey guys, happy Halloween. Welcome to Gold Key Geezer, episode number 7. For this special Halloween edition, we're going to take a look at a comic that features my personal favorite horror host, horror comic host. And it might be someone that you wouldn't think of, or at least you wouldn't think would be my favorite. And that's a character called Destiny. It's a DC comic horror host. And I'm trying to put together a collection of all of the different horror comics published by DC that Destiny appears in. He is a character that would be retooled or retconned or whatever you want to call it by Neil Gaiman when he started doing Sandman in the late 80s. But we're here to talk about the original Destiny, who was a horror host who first appeared in Weird Mystery Tales, but would move on to a title called Secrets of Haunted House. And here's Secrets of Haunted House number 27, published with a cover date of August 1980. And you might be asking yourself, Gold Key Geezer, why are you doing another DC comic? Well, the Geezer doesn't live in a vacuum, and yes, we will eventually get back to the Whitman Gold Key Western Publishing comics, but I wanted to start talking about Destiny because I really do like this horror host, and this issue, number 27, has a story in it that, at least in my opinion, could have been something that got by the Comics Code Authority. So we'll put it on the table, take a look at it, and you can decide what you think. And we'll do that when I get back, so I hope you stick around.
Kind of horror show. Brand new. It's brand new. Positively has never been shown at this theater before. Don't miss Dr. Satan's Shriek in the Night.
All right, we're back. I really wonder what those spook shows were like. Does anybody know? There's not a whole lot of information on the web that I can find other than, a bunch of those trailers. But that one, that Dr. Satan's and his Shrieks in the Night, that's my favorite one because, that guy that's doing the narrating, he's just like so over the top. But yeah, I often wondered what those were like. Okay, so here we are, Secrets of Haunted House number 27. Cover price of 40 cents. Cover date August 1980. And this cover, which I think is really well composed, is drawn by Don Heck. And it's as you can see, we got the moon in the background. Here in the foreground, we have this woman who appears to be a model, dressed in, Cleopatra-like or Egyptian garb, and a photographer getting ready to take her picture. And he says, what a great pose. You're acting as if you really see a walking mummy, which of course she does, because there's one in the background. And we get a tagline, a chilling tale that will turn your blood as cold as ISIS. Nice play on words there. And of course, although it's not referencing, it's reminding me of one of my favorite DC characters, and that is the Mighty Isis, which we talked about in the last episode. Okay, so Secrets of Haunted House number 27. Let's talk about Destiny a little bit. As you can see here, we got a one-page introductory type story, I guess you'd say, that shows Destiny. And Destiny was a horror host that appeared, like I said, in the opening, initially in Weird Mystery Tales, and would eventually lose his job there, I guess you could say, and moved on to Secrets of Haunted House. I think he appeared in some other ones too. I would have to reference the Grand Comics database to see exactly where else he appeared, but I am going to try to assemble a collection of the DC comics that he does hosting duties in. Now, if you take a look at him, he's a little bit different than your typical horror host. He doesn't have the smart alecky attitude and the witty quips. He's all business. And, he wears this hooded cloak, and he's carrying this book. and I hope you could see it here. He's carrying this book, and maybe we'll see it better when we get to the story. That's sometimes called the Book of Destiny, sometimes it's called the Cosmic Log, and this is where he gets his stories from, the stories that he tells in these comics. And you can see that this book is chained to him. Kind of like, I just really like that appearance. It's kind of like he's burdened with carrying on this task of telling these stories. So the story that I want to talk about is one called Souls for the Master. It has a script by Bill Kelly, art by Nicholas Coletta. Oh boy, how about that? The controversial... oh no, that's Vince Coletta, right? That's the controversial guy. But we got... oh, I'm sorry. No, it's art by Nicholas and Coletta, and it is Vince Coletta. I know how people feel about old Vince. Colors by Jerry Serpe and letters by Clem Robbins. So this tells the story of this gang that's been terrorizing the subways of New York. And we see in the first panel here, and I think this is pretty interesting too, or the first page, I should say. We see here some of these gang members pushing this poor guy. How about that? What's going on in the news right now? Here are these guys pushing this poor victim in front of a subway train. Wow. That never even crossed my mind that, the serendipity. Okay, but anyway, as we can see, inside the subway train is Destiny, and he's kind of watching what's going on here. Without getting into too much detail about the story, I'll talk a little bit about it. We have this gang and their ringleader, this dude here with the cowboy hat on. I don't know. It was 1980. Urban Cowboy was pretty popular, and it was part of the pop culture. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why he's wearing a cowboy hat. Who knows? But these guys run into this old hag. Or at least that's what we're told it is, this old hag. And quite frankly, to me, she looks a little bit closer to the actor Anthony Zerbe. And, Anthony Zerbe's one of my favorite actors. But anyway, she doesn't look really like an old hag to me. But, whoops. There we go. The old camera mount that I still have not replaced. And I apologize. They observe her... sort of flashing this derelict in the subway who doesn't seem very impressed. I mean, he's kind of like, yeah, whatever. But she turns this guy to dust, and this gang sees this, and they start talking to her, and she starts remembering her past. And this is what I really want to talk about here, and I hope you can see this. She's kind of reminiscing about her past, where she was this beautiful young woman out in the discos. Who knows? It could have been Studio 54. But anyway, talks about, how she led a life of luxury. She was beautiful, and she lived this decadent life. And this is the panel right here. If you look closely at this, and I hope you can see it, she's out in this disco. There we go. And it says, she lived well, nights of lust, decadence, as one of Satan's human emissaries. And here we see her with here she's dancing with one dude here. But here we see her with some dude, and both of them have little Coke spoons in their hands. I mean, it's obvious. And I know the Comics Code Authority had softened a bit through the 70s, and this is 1980, but I thought showing drug use was a bad no, unless it was shown in a negative light. Sort of like what's that character, Speedy, Green Arrow's sidekick, being the junkie, or there was some stuff, what was it, in Spider-Man, that, well, Code didn't approve that anyway, but that's beside the point. But I mean, she doesn't seem to be suffering here. She looks like she's having a blast, dancing, hanging out at Studio 54, and getting ready to snort some nose candy. So that's really what I wanted to talk about. And what do you think? Now, the story goes on. Here's another strange thing. This is got to be the strangest depiction of Satan I've ever seen in any kind of media. I mean, look at this guy. I don't know. But I guess she pissed Satan off, and he took all this away from her and turned her into a hag. So she's trying to get these guys together because, her job is Satan had hired her or took her on, I guess you'd say, to gather souls for him. So she's working on this gang that's terrorizing the subway. But it turns out, and they do some terrible things throughout this story, but it turns out Satan's not really pleased with any of this because, in his opinion, those souls were already damned. So he is annoyed with her or whatever, gives up on her, sends her on her way, she's living off the streets and having to steal food, from a fruit stand. And darn it, I really do have to replace this mount. But anyhow, and I do apologize. Oh, we get a Green Arrow, or excuse me, Green Lantern trying to sell some Twinkies. And an ad for the new Teen Titans. Watch out, world, they're coming. Pretty cool. Okay, so anyway, she steals some food from a fruit stand. Cops chase her back down into the subway. She hops on a train, and who's waiting there but the gang, who have now become Satan's emissaries. And I guess she rides away in this train to her death. It says it was the woman's destiny to be one of the devil's own, and in the end, that's exactly what she became. So what do you think? I mean, not the creepiest story in the world, and it's really not the reason I chose this, but when I was looking through this book and I saw this panel with these two people with the Coke spoons, hanging out at Studio 54 or wherever it was. I don't know. How did that get by the Comics Code? Let me know what you think. So that's our Halloween special. We looked at Secrets of Haunted House, the first book that I've shown in my newly started Destiny collection. That's going to do it for this episode. If you're not a subscriber, I would ask you to consider subscribing and liking this video. Give it a thumbs up. You can also hit the notification bell to be alerted anytime a new video does come up. And I'll be back again in the near future with another episode. And until then, have a happy Halloween and take care.